Omobian,
Present.
Connor, and Malik.
Aye.
All committee members are present except for Connor.
And then if I could have a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Okay, very good. We have one piece coming before us today, brought in by Councilman Neal. This is a resolution requesting Akron City Council and the city's administration submit itself to an independent audit by the Ohio Ethics Commission and the Ohio Attorney General's Office for the purpose of reviewing City Council and the administration's policies, practice, and procedures in order to reestablish trust and confidence of the citizens of Akron and business community partners and declaring an emergency. And looking to see, I do not see the sponsor on the screen. Is he with us?
Yes, Councilman Neal is with us. Looks like he may still be connecting to audio, though. Councilman Neal, can you hear us? Mr. Chair, we lost him. He may be trying to rejoin.
We'll take another minute. Let's see if he's able to get on.
Councilman Neal, can you hear us now? Yeah. Yes, we can hear you. Are you able to start your video?
Yeah, it's on up here. I don't know what's going on. I'm in another place.
Tell you what, we will go ahead and proceed and hope that he can get in. So, sponsor's not able to communicate with us now. Any comments or questions? Obviously, it helped if we had sponsor here, but any comments or questions regarding this piece of legislation? Okay, hearing none. What are the wishes of the committee?
Can we take time?
Okay, we have Mr. Neal now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. We almost left without you, Mr. Neal. We just read in your piece of legislation, and we asked for comments. We didn't hear any from the floor, so we will defer to you now.
Can we take time until next week or week after and give the sponsor time to connect and is that?
Well, I mean, I know I wasn't sure what the purpose was. I didn't know if, you know, I mean, if somebody wants to see who's giving to us, simple trip down to the Board of Elections. I mean, we have to file reports, and the list of who is giving to us is clearly stated there. I don't know if that was the concern.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So it appears that Mr. Neal is having some trouble connecting to audio and video, but I do think we ought to allow him a chance to present his legislation regardless of whether we agree with it, I would make a motion for time.
Okay.
Sure, do we want to make a motion?
If temporary time's fine.
Do you want to go into public service first? Because that was also scheduled for 2. Oh, I see. Councilman Neal, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, if we could take time until next week, please, because I'm having problems with my connection.
Okay, you have anything you'd like to offer now, or?
Well, the only thing I would offer now is that this piece is coming in. You may not have seen the support documentation, but on behalf of the concerns that citizens have raised, but again, if we can wait till next week, I want to make sure I don't get cut off in trying to explain, but I mean, the resolution speaks to us using the best practice that we've used to rebuild trust with our citizens in the police department in the way we reimagine public safety, and even going further to look at establishing a citizens review board, all in with goal of when does it come out? All with the hope of establishing trust and confidence in the citizens in our police department. We would take the same best practice with how we conduct our business, but I apologize for this. We can wait till next week, please.
Move for time.
Second.
Mr. Kramer, do you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to raise a couple of questions and possible concerns, but obviously I want the sponsor to present legislation or resolution. But I know the sponsor mentioned something about supporting documents, and I'm not sure if we've received those, but I would like to see those.
Ms.
If
Vivian?
possible.
I have not received any additional documents.
Mr. Kamer?
Yes.
Yes, sir, I'll forward them. Some of them even came through here most recently in the emails from folks with concern the trees being cut down at White Pond. They expressed the same concerns that are listed in the legislation, and the citizens that expressed this concern have been sharing these over public comment. I also referenced the videotape of the public comments where these same concerns were expressed.
That's body of the legislation.
All the reasons we have discussed thus far, let's move to take time.
I made a second. Yes.
It was motioned ended, Mr.
Okay.
Chair, to take time. Would you like me to do a roll call?
Yes.
Okay. The motion on the floor and was seconded was for Freeman?
Nay.
Fusco?
Nay.
Amobian?
Aye.
Malik?
Aye.
The vote is 2-2.
It's the agenda then. Right.
Correct. It would stay on the agenda.
So it just stays on. Okay, very good.
Who is the fifth person on this committee?
If I could, for the record, Mr. Neal, he's just not prepared to, is that it? Is that it,
It
Mr.
sounds like
Neal?
there should be some,
I was just curious.
some,
Why are we taking time? Because he's not prepared?
Question, is there a question for me?
Yeah, Mr. Neal, you're just not ready to, you brought legislation, just not prepared to talk about it
No,
today.
sir, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not that I'm not ready, it's that I'm having problems with my connection. The resolution, I think, speaks pretty clearly. All of us have been participating in, these last few council meetings where we've heard from our constituents. Just as it's stated in the first paragraph, an opportunity for us to establish a process where we can reestablish the trust with our constituents as well as our community business partners. I hear Mr. Kamer ask for supporting documentation. I will forward those emails. I will reference the meetings during public comment period where we can hear that concerns expressed. So I'm asking for time, sir.
Okay, we took our time. I'm not if you were here or not. We're dead too.
Who was the fifth person here?
I'm sorry.
Who was the fifth person on the committee?
Let's see, that would be Councilwoman Honor, and she's not with us today.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep. Mr. Kamer? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are 13 minutes into this committee. We all were here last Monday night, right? Most of us were here last Monday night. Clearly, Mr. Neal is having problems with audio connection and video connection. I their oaths of office, right? But at the same time, he is a council member, and I think deserves the respect to have a chance to present his legislation. And apparently, there is supporting documentation that we haven't received. We just had another deadlocked vote. People are sick of the dysfunction at City Council to allow him a chance to present his legislation.
I think by virtue of the fact, in committee, by virtue of the fact that we're deadlocked, it goes to next week's agenda, does it not?
That is my understanding as well.
Okay. Okay, so the vote was 2 yes, 2 no, and we'll have this on our agenda next week. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, okay, adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Our next committee of the day is the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Mosley, Kamer, Holland, Lombardo, and McKittrick. We'll give everyone just a moment here. Thank you.
You ready? I'm ready.
Madam Chair.
I'm ready. If we could call public. Councilwoman Connor, isn't she on this committee?
She is not, so you have
She's
all
not?
committee
Okay,
members
so all the
present.
committee members are present. Can I get a motion and approval of our previous meeting? Can I have a motion and a second? All in favor? Aye. Have it. Number 3, we are going to take time on, so do I need to read that in? Okay. Ordinance authorizing Director of Public Service or his designee to bid, use Q bids, State of Ohio bids, Sourcewell bids, Omni public sector bids, and/or such public bids or consortium enter into a contract or contracts for purchase and/or refurbishment of various vehicles and equipment and declaring an emergency. Mr. Butler?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, can I get a motion for time?
Motion for time.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Our next, authorizing the Director of Public Service to submit an application and enter into an agreement with the Summit Akron Solid Waste Management Authority for Community Recycling Access Grant and furtherance of Mayor Horgan, a new existing community recycling projects authorizing the use of funds if awarded and declaring an emergency. Mr. Luttle?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of committee. This is our annual grant application for the recycle program. Basically, we get $1 per resident. So we're applying for $197,041. We've been successful in the past. The grant does have a timing issue, so I would like to get it passed today. I will answer any questions. We are looking at a couple other initiatives. I know glass has been a subject in the past, and with the commodity and such a negative impact, we're looking at possibly partnering with somebody where, since we're a single stream and everything goes in the can, and then the contamination gets mixed at our recycling. So we're looking maybe at a drop-off type thing. But this will be used not only for that, but also for the education, boots on the ground, going out and doing audits, and what to the can, and also possibly we'd like to come out to your own board meetings and educate our residents if they make those kinds of decisions at the grocery store. You know, that will help too. So if you have a choice whether that condiment you're purchasing is in a glass bottle or a plastic bottle, it makes a big difference. Okay, so we want to do that type of thing too. We want to make this a sustainable program, but obviously recently, and we've talked about this in the last 3 or 4 years, a change in the commodity, but we definitely want to make this a successful program. But this basically just applies for the grant like we've done in the past. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Okay. Any questions, members? Councilwoman Holland?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say on behalf of Ward 1 residents, thank you, Mr. Luddle, and thank you, Ms. Collins. I know that you have been pushing hard, that you've heard the voices, particularly from my ward, who support a return to glass recycling. I'd like to amplify what you just said, Mr. Luddle, that though some of us may be somewhat hardwired to buy glass, that the data is in, the science is in. So smart choices when we're buying products, absolutely. And thank you again for pursuing a glass recycling option. Ward 1 thanks you.
Okay. Any other questions for committee members? Councilman Mallett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Luddle. I did also want to thank you for putting out this new survey where residents can weigh in about this potential glass drop-off. I hope that we can all share it and get some feedback. I think it's about 100% of people in Ward 1 and like 85 everywhere else who will want to use that.
Okay. Can I get a motion for suspension of the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Last piece is a resolution declaring it necessary to improve Miller Road between the termini of Ridgewood Road and West Market Street by resurfacing and declaring an emergency. Substitute offered as an amendment.
Madam Chair, I would like to take 1 more week's time on this also,
Okay.
just to get something straight.
Okay, can I get a motion for time?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. We have nothing else coming before us. We are adjourned.
Our next committee will be the Public Utilities and Green Committee, and it will begin at 2:45. Those committee members are Freeman, McKittrick, Connor, Mosley, and Holland. Again, that's the Public Utilities and Green Committee, and it will begin at 2:45. Thank you.